It's a triple shot of our good friend Tim Ripper Owens right there. We started things off there with Charred Walls of the Damned, then Beyond Fear, and then, of course, a stint with Yngwie J. Malmsteen. So there you go. Got some Tim Ripper Owens overload for you.
There you go. There's never enough Tim Ripper Owens.
Yeah, that guy's amazing. Not only is he a great vocalist and obviously fronted one of the most iconic bands in hard rock and metal, Judas Priest, for a while, and is constantly doing other projects. I'm surprised he and George Lynch haven't done a project. I know they collaborated on one song, I think.
Yeah.
But to do a whole project together, I think they should do that because they are like two of the most project related musicians out there.
Yeah, it is kind of weird that those two have never, done something together because they both do 43 projects a week. They both are always doing. We'll see though. Now, what do you think that KK's Priest is gonna be like a full-time thing, or do you think it'll be project-y?
Project-y.
Think so?
Yeah, how old is KK? He's like heading to 70 now, right?
Yeah, something like that.
You think he's going to be willing to go out there and work full-time touring, playing and stuff? I mean, I know that age when it comes to musician, obviously the Rolling Stones are still selling out stadiums, but still, do you think that he'll want to make that a full-time gig?
I don't know. You know what? Just to stick it to the other guys, he might be fucking pissed off more than you think about not being in Judas Priest and just really want to stick it to those guys.
Yeah. You know what? It's sad that a band like Judas Priest, who has over a 40-year legacy, it comes down to, the founding member fighting against the guys who for
the replacements.
I mean, if you think about it, KK was like the founding guy.
Yeah,
and he's not part of the band.
Yeah, well, but he left.
I agree. I completely agree.
He wasn't fired. He quit.
Yes. Which was weird that he quit, because I remember when he quit and it was just like, I'm going to retire now. And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, you guys are still going on without me? Yeah, we're making money. Oh, fuck.
Well, if you were in Judas Priest and you just finished with a dog shit double record like Nostradamus, and then the band was talking about taking it to Broadway and shit, you might quit too.
Yeah.
You might just say, I got enough fucking money. The last thing I want to do is be out playing for a bunch of weirdos. You might. I don't know that to be the reason. I'm just saying that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Well, from a business standpoint, I hope that he covered himself, and regardless if he was playing or touring, at least he's getting a piece of that action.
I would think he does.
I would hope so.
I would certainly think that he didn't resign. By that point, Judas Priest was definitely a business.
Oh yeah, so absolutely.
I would think that he still retained some sort of ownership in it. Otherwise, he'd be out there motherfucking them to death.
Well, of course, going by the logic that you threw out there about him quitting, Rob Halford quit and they accepted him back.
Yeah, they brought him back too.
But he quit and he said, yeah, I'll come back. And they say, yeah, fuck you. We don't want you. It's like, wait a minute.
Well,
I was one of the guys who was in the band and I took Rob back. Yeah, but we like Rob better than you.
Different time, different circumstances. Judas Priest took a hit when Ripper joined the band, as far as money and sales, and
it always comes down to the vocalist, doesn't it?
Yeah, but when you look at it, they brought in Richie Faulkner and they weren't heard even an ounce.
No.
Weren't heard in sales, weren't heard in concerts.
Because most people saw some blonde guy up there playing guitar and go, yeah, KK, it's looking pretty good these days.
Looks very healthy for 68.
Yep. You know how people are. They'll go to a show and they go, yeah, KK kicking ass up there.
Yeah. Man, he sounds fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best he's played the Ripper in years.
How many times have you gone to a show where there was another guy playing in the band now, and people still recognize him as being, the
All
original guy
all the time.
all the time?
All the time. Because most people really don't care. Most people are very, top level, surface level people. They don't actually pay attention to who's in the.
They're just fair weather fans. They're the guys who have a XM Sirius subscription and listen to Hair Nation all day, and they don't mind that playlist being played again and again and again.
Yeah, they don't care. Oh, cool! Got another thing coming, man. I haven't heard that song in at least 2 hours.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Last week when Sal was here, Sirius XM was on for free.
Okay.
So since we were cruising over to my sister's place, which is about an hour, a little over an hour away.
Okay.
I thought, even though Sal and I will be shooting the shit in the car, I thought, well, okay, we'll put something on in the background just to listen. So I pulled up Hair Nation.
Okay.
Dude, every 2 hours, it was either Def Leppard.
Oh, yeah.
Guns N' Roses, Motley Crue, Queensryche.
Right.
Or what was the other one that they played a lot of?
Rat.
Yeah, Rat was one of them too.
Right.
So it was like every 2 hours there was a song from one of those top 10 bands.
Of course. And not even a good song, like a deep track or something.
No, it was always the hit, of course.
Like Round and Round or Back for More. Or never Queensryche, it would be Empire or
lots and lots of Motley on Hair Nation. I haven't listened to the XM Sirius, and boy, it's been probably over a year, going on 2 years already.
Okay.
But like I said, since it was on free for the holiday weekend, I tuned in, and I was just like, wow, this is just dog shit. I said, hey, there's Motley again. I haven't heard this song in like 10 minutes.
Dude, you should have just pulled up something on Spotify and right-clicked on it or clicked on it and clicked radio.
Yeah, I know, but I just flipped it on, and because we weren't like listening. We just kind of had it on low and listening to the background. Oh yeah, Scorpions was another one. Sal texted me. It says Scorpions was another one that they played a lot of.
And not good Scorpions. It was all like The Rhythm of Love.
And the Zoo.
Yeah, the Zoo, Rhythm of Love.
Yeah.
Yeah. No One Like You. Yeah, Rock You Like a Hurricane.
Yep.
All the shit that
and then they had that douchebag Luke Carl on there.
I don't know.
What's coming? He's one of their regulars, but he comes in with his break. Of course they pre-record all the breaks, right?
Yeah.
And their breaks are like 30 seconds to a minute long.
Right.
Absolutely no sense at all. He'd come in with some kind of an analogy that you were just like, well, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, this COVID's got us locked up, but I'd rather be locked up than on a cruise ship in the ocean. All right, well, here's Scorpions. Like, what?
Yeah, here's Scorpions with the Zoo.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right, everyone's wearing a mask, so here's Def Leppard Hysteria.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Yeah, their DJing is just pathetic.
Yeah, but it's all pre-recorded because if you listen long enough, you'll get the exact same set list with the pre-record breaks.
Oh, really? So it's like every 36 hours they just
they'll loop it like twice in a 24-hour period. So like every 12 hours they'll play the same 12 hours that they played earlier.
That's funny.
Remember how they used to do that with O&A?
Yeah. Well, okay.
You get O&A live, and then you get
the replay.
Yeah, then you get the replay in the evening. So whatever played in the first 12 hours of the day, then you get the same 12 hours later. So you got what was Bennington's show called?
What was what called?
Bennington's show.
Ron and Fez.
Yeah, Ron and Fez. So you got O&A, then you got Ron and Fez, and then you started back over with O&A again.
O&A again, right? Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, it makes sense with a talk show.
Yeah, because
That's
it's
what music.
fresh content every day.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense with a music show. How can you be so cheap that you can't fucking voice track an extra 20 spots for a day? I mean, what do? They do what, like 3 songs and then a break?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, but and the break is like 30 seconds to a minute at the most.
So 3 songs, you could do about 12 songs an hour, 12 to 15 an hour. So, 3 breaks, 30 seconds, a minute and a half an hour times 12. What's that? 20 minutes? You can't fucking put together an extra 20 minutes of content in a day?
Yeah. So it basically took Sal and I within an hour to figure out what the formula was.
And you hated it.
And it was terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, because he and I we'd be shooting the shit and talk about stuff, and then hear a song come on and go, "Hey, there's Motley Crue again. I haven't heard Motley in what, an hour now."
Yeah.
Hey, there's Scorpions. I can't believe they're playing more Scorpions.
And the DJ couldn't even do something creative with it. He couldn't be like, "This COVID sucks. I wish it would just go away. Just go away mad." Don't go away mad. Just go away. COVID.
Right. Here's Motley.
Yeah. Something. Anything. I had the COVID and the doctor had to kickstart my heart. Anything to give it a half an ounce of life.
Yeah. Hey, it's Luke Carl here on Hair Nation.
Great.
Yeah, I remember seeing these guys back in the day, back in 1995. Here's Faster Pussycat.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah. Back in the day.
You weren't even born then, Luke.
Yeah. And they're still touring now. Why don't you talk about that? Oh, that's right, because you're not allowed.
It's just terrible.
It is just shit.
But yeah, Sal and I had a fun time just kind of picking it apart. It was just like, yeah, this is why I don't have XM Sirius. Thanks for giving it to me for free, fucky.
Yeah.
And after last Saturday, after our ride to my sister's farm to go shoot guns, haven't turned it on since.
No. Dude, how sad is it what they did to XM? XM
it was such a great time. I looked forward, and this was back in 2006 when I had brought my brand new Monte Carlo Super Sport, and it came with the XM in the car. It was such a great time listening to O&A, and it was, you just couldn't wait to hear it. And then it was just like, oh, 2010, 2012. Oh yeah, this fucking sucks.
Yeah, well, the merger killed it. When they gagged O&A and wouldn't let them do anything. That was the end, really. I mean, I know they carried on, but it wasn't nearly as good. But yeah, dude, I was the same way. I was working with when they no, that can't be right. I had a MiFi at one of my jobs.
Yeah, I know, you gave it to me.
Yeah, but I literally ran an antenna on the top of cubicles so that my boss wouldn't see it, so that I could listen to XM. And I ran it halfway around the damn building to get it to a window so that I could listen to O&A.
Yeah, you got a covert antenna to your MiFi.
Yeah. I was doing that at my job so that I could listen, and I got more work done because I would sit there from I would drive out in my car listening to O&A. I would sit in my car until a commercial hit. Minute a commercial hit, I would hustle my ass into my office, set my MiFi in the MiFi stand, whatever, the charging stand.
Yeah.
Hook my headphones to it. And then I would work nonstop until they were done at like noon or 11 or whatever time. I think it was 11. They would finish at 11, get up, take a piss, get a cup of coffee, dick around a little bit with some bullshit work. And then come noontime, I was locked in till 3 for Ron and Fez.
There you go.
And then by then it was time to go home. Like, all right, Ron and Fez are over. Time to get the fuck out of here.
Exactly.
And my days went fast.
Oh yeah. Well, when I drove the truck, dude, I mean, you knew me when I was driving the truck.
Mm-hmm.
I would start my day at 6 o'clock in the morning,
Right.
get in that truck, head over toward the Youngstown area, make some pickups,
Mm-hmm.
make several pickups over in the Western Pennsylvania area, go all the way up to like Erie, Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
And I would go all the way over to Toledo, Ohio, and drop my trailer off, grab a empty trailer, and head back to Macedonia, which is down the street from you.
Right. Mm-hmm.
My whole day was just consumed with listening to the fucking radio.
Of course. Yeah.
That took my 12-hour day. It made it so fast,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what I listened to.
Yeah. If the content was good, the day was quick.
Oh yeah, it was beautiful, man. And I was doing this show on the weekend, which it wasn't what it is today, but I was doing this show on the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like, man, I would just aspire to do something that fun and that great.
Yeah. Dude, do you remember how awful you felt when you got in the car, you got in the truck, and you turned it on and it was like a best of,
Mm-hmm.
and you'd already heard it. Like you already knew the bit. And you'd just be like, motherfuck.
Yeah. Now what do and I'm gonna whine like one of our fans. There was no CMS this week. What am I gonna listen to, man?
Yeah. I know you would listen to it. You'd be like, all right, now he's going to tell this joke. You would literally sit there and you would pick it apart. Maybe this isn't so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was that way, man. I was a hardcore O&A guy.
Yeah. And that was still when Howard Stern was pretty good too.
Yeah, Stern was good at that point too.
Yeah. So I'd listen to Stern, I would listen to O&A, I would listen to some other talk radio stuff, but man, that made my show go fast, or my day go fast, right?
Yeah. There's nothing like that now.
Except the CMS, of course.
Yeah, well, I don't listen to us.
I know, I'm making a joke,
but I do try though. I mean, I tend to not watch Kumia and Dave live. I kind of don't watch it live on purpose, so that because the morning show on the Kumia network sucks a dick. Fucking terrible. That morning with Bill Schultz and Joe Novachinsky or whatever her name is.
Yeah,
she's hot as fuck. She's a fucking supermodel hot. But
yeah, but to you, she's just a hole.
Yeah, well, she is, because it's like,
she brings nothing to the table. Let me see your vag.
Well, yeah, and that's it. She's dressed and trying to make smart points, and I don't care about either of those. I don't care about her opinions, and I just don't want to see her dressed. I want to see her in a bikini or less.
Yeah.
So I hate that show. That show just sucks. So I listened to Ant and Dave in the mornings, but that's only like 2 hours. And then, I like a few of the other shows, but they're only on once a week. So it's like, all right, well, I'll catch maybe some Jameson here, or I'll listen to some other podcasts here and there. But it's not to say I loved having that schedule of this is going to be new content. It's at this time, and that's the one thing that, I think Kumia's network would be stronger if it just streamed 24/7.
Or it added the CMS as part of their content.
You know what? I don't know. I just don't know that would work. I'm sure we could pitch it.
Sure.
I'm sure we probably could pitch it, and they would at least listen to it. But I don't know that would work. Again, do we really? Even if it's on a very, very, very light level, do we want to have anybody that we're answering to?
No, I'm just making a joke.
I know. But don't think I haven't thought of it. Don't think I haven't thought, since I have a reach into there now.
Yeah, I get it, but I admire what Anthony has attempted to do with his platform.
Yeah.
It hasn't been executed as good as it could have been, because I think he trusts the people who just really don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I think there's a lot of friendships there.
Yeah.
But I admire what he did, because I'm going to use the example again. Joe Rogan took what Anthony did and he ran with it. Now he's 100 millionaire.
Yeah.
And to me, that's just like, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And Rogan's okay. you know, and I watch his stuff depending on what it is he's talking about or who he's talking to. But I would much rather when Anthony is on top of
Mm-hmm.
the game, much better listen.
Oh yeah, yeah. Much more fun, much more
Yeah.
fun. You know, dude, him and Dave, they're doing this new thing now for they just sit in Anthony has that studio
Mm-hmm.
and the movie theater rather, and they do it at the movies now, like every other Friday or something.
Okay.
And they pick the most fucked up movies, and it's just them watching the movie, and they both have microphones, and they just rip on the movies.
Well, that's kind of like Mystery Theater 3000.
Yeah, it is same thing.
Exactly. But with actual people instead of like a fake robot guy or
Right.
something.
And really hard vulgar takes instead of what goes on that
Yeah,
show.
kind of like what we did years ago with Talking Metal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Man,
But that's fun. If you're funny and creative, it can really be a good thing.
I was in tears this week watching. They were reviewing the movie Mask. Oh my god.
With Eric Stoltz and Cher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was fucking
I'm sure you were. There's a lot of content there.
My god. They were so brutal.
Of course. What was that kid's name? Rocky something?
Rocky Dennis.
Yeah. And they had Eric Stoltz all made up and all fucked up with his face and Cher and being part of the whole biker thing. And
yeah, it was so funny that just I don't know how many. I didn't think I would keep laughing at a different variation of the same fetal alcohol syndrome joke, but I was crying through the whole thing. And Anthony doing his Cher impressions and stuff was just fucking hysterical. I was dying laughing.
well, which is funny. You brought that fetal alcohol thing up.
Yeah.
And this is not related to this specifically, but my nephew hit me up on a text today. And he's at work today. So I don't think he normally works on Saturday, but I think he might be doing overtime or something. So he said because he was at work, he was revisiting the old Jennifer clips.
Okay.
Old Jaffer clips.
Jaffer.
And I said, she is a prime example why you shouldn't drink during pregnancy. He said, I'm over here crying listening to these old segments. He said these are just absolutely hysterical.
Yeah.
But going back to your point though, watching Anthony and Dave and the stuff that they do live,
Mm-hmm.
Again, that was just like the golden age of radio for me.
Yeah, me too.
Between what Stern did and what O&A did, and the fact that XM and then obviously XM Sirius was so free and open.
Mm-hmm.
It was so great.
It was.
And then it just got fucked.
Once they got bought, they mixed all the money into it, and then it just sucked. It just absolutely sucked. And Sirius was always a shit product. And they brought all the Sirius people in instead of the XM people. That was, to me, was the biggest problem. XM had a much more wild and free vibe. They were more of the Wild West, where Sirius was just another radio company.
Well, they were a button-down corporate thing, and XM was like wide open. They were like the early days of YouTube.
Mm-hmm. And they fucked it up. They fucked it up by going with the Sirius side instead of the XM side.
Yeah, everything was corporate, everything was structured, everything was politically correct. Everything. Yeah. It's just like you made it boring now. Everything's fucking boring.
Yeah, and if I want boring, I can get that for free. I don't want to pay $10 a month or whatever it was for shitty. I can get shitty for nothing. Mike Trevisano shows up every day for work. He's as shitty as they get.
Is he still on the air?
He's still on the air. You're in the air.
Or rather, he's in the air.
He's in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's still in the air. He stinks. Dude, Cleveland radio stinks.
Well, all radio stinks.
Yeah, that's true too. I guess I shouldn't limit it to just here, but
no, it's everywhere, dude. Terrible.
Yeah. What do you think about, and since we're just rambling before we get into anything, what do you think about all these podcasting companies now starting to get scooped around? Have you noticed this?
No, I haven't. Tell me about it.
Well, like XM bought Pandora, and I think they might have bought Stitcher.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like Stitcher just got bought too by somebody.
All right.
Spotify bought somebody. Like all of a sudden there's a race to scoop up all the podcasts.
Well, what it is to limit competition. That's what it is.
Yeah, I'm not liking that at all.
No, well, anytime you, and again, this goes back to you.
All right, it's Billy Thorpe, children of the sun, and a child of the sun back with us, back amongst the light.
Yeah. Well, we can thank Comcast for cutting us out there. So you can cut your stream over there if you want to, because this one will pick right back up where it started.
Let me do that right now and disconnect.
All right. All right. Well, we had a little bit of a technical failure there, but we're back.
We are back.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, we were saying about what Anthony is doing with his Compound Media. He and Dave, obviously, they've been partners what, a little over a year, almost 2 years now.
I think 2 years. Yeah.
2 years now. So what they're doing, obviously Anthony is self-funded. And they couldn't get away with that, what they do today on a commercial platform.
Oh no, they'd be fired immediately.
Yeah, of course. So they can't. I have never thought that at any point in our history, especially with the way that things were going, because if you look at O&A, because they got suspended for over a year.
Yeah.
And they still got paid for sitting at home. But because of their antics, it was just completely unacceptable on a commercial platform.
Right.
And they came back stronger than ever.
They did. And they were broken. They were damaged goods. They'll say it themselves that they were damaged goods. But man, they came back. And what was cool about when they came back, it was a different show. Obviously the XM thing and the freedom of XM changed it, but if you listen to the old stuff, the Sex for Sam, or you listen to 55 Gallon Drum Challenge and stuff like that, which I love all that stuff.
Yeah, of course, because it was just sort of off the cuff and outrageous.
But man, they came back with a vengeance, man. It was so good when they came back. It was excellent stuff. And they wrote it out till about 2010. For about 6 years, it was really, really good. And then fucking Mel Karmazin fucked it up by Sirius buying XM.
Yeah.
The merger.
Well, here's the thing. When it comes to, obviously one of the biggest drivers behind, and it's hard to believe this, but I get it. One of the biggest drivers behind the whole Sirius XM merger was obviously Howard Stern.
Of course, yeah.
He was a huge component that that Sirius added to their, portfolio. And XM wasn't the one that was struggling. Sirius was the one that was struggling.
Yeah. XM was the
trailblazer. They were the ones who kind of started the whole satellite thing, and they were really, as you put it earlier, the Wild West.
Yeah.
And there was all kinds of just unscripted, just wild shit going on XM, and Sirius was the corporate, the button down. And they offered, what was the original contract that Howard had gotten? Was it like $200 million
something like that. Yeah, or 500 million. That was 100 million a year.
I think it was 200 million.
Was it? Some crazy
For 2 years, like 200 million for 2 years.
Yeah.
And that was just some ridiculous number.
Mm-hmm.
But, they had a competitor, which was XM.
Yeah.
And somehow, and again, I'm a little familiar with how corporate radio works or how corporations in general work.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But to have the weaker take over the more powerful, because XM wasn't in the hole.
Yeah. And XM had more subscribers and everything else at the time.
And somehow Sirius leveraged their buyout of XM and became the lead.
Yeah.
And they kind of dictated the agenda for satellite radio.
Mm-hmm.
I remember at one point, I think it was like around 2010 or so.
Right.
I think the whole satellite radio industry, if you consider both XM and Sirius,
Mm-hmm.
I think they were like literally $5 billion in the hole.
Yeah, at one point they were.
Yeah.
Probably still are. Do you know anybody that's actually paying for it now?
Not me. I'm not paying for it, and I don't know anybody who has it in their car. And obviously I talked about this a few weeks ago that
Mm-hmm.
my nephew had purchased a new General Motors vehicle, and he was trying to like, how do I end this thing? How do I get out of this? I don't want this shit on my, I don't want to pay for this.
Right. Well, and I think the proof is in the pudding, the how few people actually have it now, in that you don't hear anything about it anymore. You don't hear, well, these guys did this, or this guy said this or that on the show, or whatever. You don't hear any breaking news anymore. Occasionally a Howard Sternism that he, interviewed Hillary Clinton or some bullshit like that, but you really don't hear any kind of anything from anybody on Sirius XM anymore. Nothing. It's just not worth having, and most people have decided that they're not going to have it. I'm sure that there's still loyalists that are still listening, that subscribe for Howard or for Jim and Sam or Jason Ellis or whatever, Jamie Foxx, the foxhole. But,
is that a thing? The foxhole?
That's a thing, the foxhole.
All right. Well, here's the thing that I admired about O&A
Mm-hmm.
prior to the merger.
Yeah.
That studio that they had specifically for O&A only.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the photos of that studio? I think I still have them somewhere. I can't tell you where they are right at this minute, but there were these photos where O&A had this tremendous broadcast studio. They had these big screen TVs on the wall.
Right.
Do you remember that?
I do, yeah.
And they had like every channel, like they had like Fox, MSNBC, CNN, all these different channels, and they would like periodically comment
right
about what was going on currently because they were live.
Right.
And mostly Anthony, because he's more astute.
Mm-hmm.
He would just be holy shit, look at what's going on in Atlanta.
Right.
There's like a car chase going on.
Right.
And they would be given some blow by blow discussion, and of course it would just be like commentary
mm-hmm.
about what's happening there, which Anthony parlayed into his own personal thing.
Sure.
Before he got fired, when he was fucking around with his whole live stream thing.
Live from the compound.
Exactly. And he would sit there and give this running commentary about shit that was going on, like when Baltimore was like, on fire.
Right.
And there was all those protests and shit.
Mm-hmm.
He was doing that on O&A. It was kind of an early version of that.
Right.
And that's what they would do during the show. They would be like doing some kind of bit or, get into some kind of discussion. And then they would like, they had like 10 flat screens
mm-hmm.
on the wall in the studio. And they had it tuned into various live channels.
Right.
And something would catch their eye, and they would go, "Holy shit, look what's going on over there," and they would sit there and start doing this whole rundown and commentary thing.
Right.
Well, then when the whole merger happened and they had to move to a different building, they showed the studio that they were relegated to, and it was not even
Yeah.
near. It was not even near the accommodations that they had at XM.
No, it was a closet.
Yeah, it was garbage.
Yeah.
I have,
Wasn't as big as your
I have a better studio here
Yeah.
than what they were given when they had to move to Sirius XM.
You have a bigger studio.
I do.
You definitely have a bigger studio. Their studio is about the size of Studio B
Yeah.
with a table or a desk in the middle of it.
Yeah, it was garbage.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, holy fuck, this is what these guys get?
And this is what you're giving to guys that are making a few million a year. That was insane. They're making a few million a year and they were getting just shit on.
Yeah. But the one thing I did admire about their success is that they obviously had their own channel.
Mm-hmm.
The O&A channel, and then of course Howard had like 3 channels.
Yeah, he had 2. He had Howard 100 and Howard 101.
Right, exactly.
Garbage.
But but it was always fun to be able to go over to the O&A channel and, listen to their shit going on and stuff. But man,
Right.
that was so good.
It was back in the day. Yeah. Yeah, and that's another place. That's the one thing. O&A had their channel together, and Stern with his 2 channels, he tried to come in like he was a big shot. And this is going to be the big deal. And you got Howard 101 and the Howard Stern news team and all that. And that shit was just dog shit from day one.
I never listened to it. If I listened to it, that's if I listened to it.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to the live show, but I didn't go listen to the archive shit and Gary commenting or whoever, the flunkies that worked with Howard.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go over to the extra content to hear what those guys had to say because they were boring.
I mean, I will admit I did like the wrap-up show, which was right after the show, when it would be Gary, and it was usually Gary and Steve Langford, and then whatever other guys would pop in. And that show was actually sometimes okay when they weren't just recapping the show, because I just listened to the show, so I don't need a recap of it.
Exactly.
But then Howard started putting on a bunch of fucking kooks having their own shows. He had and I don't mean Bubba. I mean Bubba the Love Sponge. Okay, that was their answer to Ron and Fez, and that was whatever it was.
But he was an established guy on his own.
Mm-hmm. So he was fine, I guess.
Which I know that I've told this story on the show, but my former brother-in-law who passed away last year, he and Bubba used to share a condo downtown Chicago together.
Right. Yeah, you told me that.
They went to college together. They went to high school together. Mm-hmm. They were like lifelong friends.
Sure.
And Bubba went on to do his own thing. And, Bubba had his own syndicated thing. Now that guy's a broke dick.
Yeah. Well, he's doing something now, I guess.
Well, he's doing something, but at one time he was really flying high and making money and all that other stuff.
Well, I'm sure he was making millions out on the Stern deal.
Yeah. But because of the politically correct society that we live in, he's begging for, some kind of a income. He moved to Florida, and I think he had like some kind of a club down there, and he's trying to do this subversive radio, and it just wasn't happening. And he was part of the whole Howard Stern thing, which Howard at one point hated him. He was Bubba the Lunch Buzz. Who's this fucking guy? But then he became part of the Howard Stern thing.
Mm-hmm.
But then when the whole political correctness thing started seeping in around 2015, Bubba found himself out of a gig.
Yeah, they got rid of Bubba, and they got rid of Scott Farrell. They got rid of a bunch of guys, and they replaced them, or they had other shows that were just horrible. They had at one point they had a show. No kidding. They had one show that was like 2 fucking schlubs, like Gary the Retard and like High Pitch Eric or something, talking about fast food. It was a fast food show. And then at the same time, then they had another show. It was Ronnie the limo driver talking about cars. So he would do an hour just talking about, the 2016 Challenger. It looks just like the 68, whatever, it was the dumbest shit. And he was just hiring his fucking flunkies for, probably $100 a show to do shit.
Just to fill time.
Just to fill time, and also to fill his own show, because he would have the guys tape the shows that were shit, and then he would pick them apart. He would pick apart, like he had one, it was like his version of Coast to Coast AM, but it was with that kooky guy, Riley Martin, that was like a mumble mouth black dude.
Chris,
and he had,
Black Lives Matter, okay?
They do. And
be a little more sensitive, will you?
He's dead, so I can talk about him. His life don't matter. He's done. He's gone. But, it was just, he would do this mumble mouth bullshit. And then the next morning on the show, Howard would act like it was something important. He'd be like, "You're not going to believe what went on last night on Riley Martin's show." And I was like, dude, nobody cares. No one was listening to what Riley was saying. Nobody. The shit was awful. The Howard 101 was a failure. The news team, coming in every hour going, "Hey, today on Howard 100 News, you're not going to believe it. Gary Delabate got lost on his way home from work." Story. And it was like, Jesus Christ. And they'd be interviewing, Gary's wife. Yeah, he was 20 minutes late because he missed his turn on the freeway. You heard it first here on Howard 100 News. It was just shit. It was like, it's that dude.
You would think that someone who had multi-million-dollar talent could afford to have a little higher standards, like Chris and Neeley of the Classic Metal Show or something like that,
Dude, I will argue that from the time Artie was fired, from the time Artie left the show until now, and that's 10 years or 12 years or something ago.
It's been a long time.
The only thing that has come out of the Stern show that's been worth listening to has been those phony phone calls, those Tradio show calls. That shit is fucking hysterical.
Well, again, this isn't a direct intervention with Howard. It's just because he had a couple of talented guys like Richard Christy, who's just kind of a funny dude. Hey, welcome to Tradio.
This is Ethel. My grandson Rusty.
So good.
Those fucking phony phone. I'll listen, dude. It's funny because people have pretty much taken every single one of the phony phone calls that they've ever done, and they've made these 8 and 10 hour compilations on YouTube.
Yeah, I've seen them.
I've listened to them from start to finish.
Yeah, well, I've seen how people compile the O&A stuff, and it'll go for hours.
I love it. And I will listen, especially those phony phone calls. I will listen to Tradio. Look, if I could, if you wanted to just play Tradio calls from now till 3 a.m, I'd be fine with it. I would sit here and laugh my fucking balls off just listening to Tradio.
What a horrific concept. Hey, I want a blender to sell.
Yeah. And some of it is so stupid. They had one, a guy just called in and said, "Yeah, I lost my hat. I think it was on High Street. If anybody finds it, could they call in?" And then those guys just started fucking hammering. Richard calls in and is like, "Yeah, I lost some porn mags out on Melrose Lane." Tradio.
They used a radio station, a transmitter, and all the millions of dollars of equipment that goes into broadcasting over the air radio to Tradio.
Who sits around? Even worse than the shows, who sits around listening to that shit?
Old people.
You think that's what it is?
Yeah, I do.
Old people sitting around going, "Oh, he's got a Westinghouse dryer."
Yeah, I have one of those too. That's a good product. You should buy that. Tradio.
Tradio.
I mean, that's basically Craigslist on the radio.
It is. It's horrible.
It's just a thought. This is programming right here, folks.
Radio.
Hey, I got a set of hot rollers to sell. I mean, I haven't used them since the 70s, but they're still good.
Yeah. On Tradio.
Well, anybody who needs a set of hot rollers, you ladies want to look your best out there.
Yeah.
Got a set of hot rollers to sell here on Tradio.
What's your phone number, please?
It's the Craigslist of radio entertainment.
Yeah. I just emailed you a short one because people are probably like, what the fuck are they talking about?
All right.
I just emailed you to your CMS Neeley.
All right.
I just mailed you. It's like a 3-minute one, but it's a funny one about a wheelbarrow. Tradio. So stupid. And these guys just capitalized on it. So great.
Yeah. And now how much money do you think Tradio actually made?
The only way they would make money is off the commercial time.
You would think. So what Bob's car dealership was sponsoring Tradio?
Oh, and that's who it would be too. It wouldn't be anybody good. It would be
no. It would be a local guy. It would be like True Value Hardware Store, the local hardware store, whatever. Yeah. And it was like, we're going to advertise on WXKC or whatever it is.
I'm sure.
We're going to sponsor the Tradio show.
I'm sure that shit was dirt cheap. $25 for 30-second spot or something. Probably did not pay anything.
That's amazing.
It is. Did you get it?
Yeah, I got it.
All right.
We'll play it.
All right.
Well, if you're not familiar, there's this thing across. I'm assuming it's across the country in some markets.
Yeah, it's like on hundreds of different stations have local because it has to be local.
Yeah, it's a local thing. It's people who have things to sell.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, I've got a patio furniture set.
Yeah.
That I used it for one season. I want $150 for it.
What is your phone number, please?
Yeah. Or, I've got a industrial mixer here. You can make cookies with it.
Right.
Something goofy like that.
So dumb, but
this Richard Christy, right?
He is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's still part of the Howard Stern.
Mm-hmm.
He would call into these Tradio programs and just goof on them.
Right, him and Sal.
Yeah. So they would pretend that they were actual legitimate callers with a product to sell, but they would just like, hey, I've got this dildo to sell.
Right.
My wife doesn't use it anymore. It's a big black thick dildo.
And they would just keep going until they got hung up on.
Yeah. And the guy, whoever was hosting Tradio, he just didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah, and that was another thing. Every Tradio host seemed like they were like 100 years old.
Yeah.
And they had never had their chain rattled, ever. So they'd probably been doing this dumb Tradio shit for 35 years, never had a prank call. Then all of a sudden, these guys are just relentless. Just call after call after call. It's so funny.
Yeah. And so they were just like, well, if you're interested in, what is it again that you're selling? It's a dildo, sir. My wife doesn't use it anymore. An adult apparatus. All right. Well, here's some Tradio for you, for those of you who don't know what we're talking about.
All right.
You want to hear Richard calling to buy a wheelbarrow, a bookcase, and repeating things over and over and over again? He just annoying. Now
he's an irritating young man.
Yeah. Guess this woman or something. I don't remember this call that well, but it's one I haven't played. He just irritates the crap out of him. People sell crap all the time.
Yeah, they're always trying to sell junk.
Yeah. And they're desperate to sell it.
Hello.
Hi, I'm calling about the stuff that you have for sale.
Okay. The wheelbarrow is gone. What were you interested in?
Do you still have the wheelbarrow?
No, the wheelbarrow's gone.
I'd love to buy the bookcase.
The bookcase is gone.
What about the leather chair?
The leather chair is gone.
Huh.
Everything's gone, god damn it. I called in to try to buy the wheelbarrow, the bookcase, or the leather chair, and all of it's gone.
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah, it's Craigslist for the radio.
It really is.
I mean, that's really what it is.
Mm-hmm.
They made a whole show out of this.
Right.
All right.
But I'm interested in the wheelbarrow.
Yeah, I've told you that the wheelbarrow is gone.
Oh, you mean you don't have it?
It's gone. The wheelbarrow sold immediately.
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 Chris, have you ever had a use for a wheelbarrow?
If I do, I don't remember what it would have been.
I mean, you know, any good homeowner would love to have a good wheelbarrow.
Yeah, I guess.
You know, fill it up with dirt, you know, wheel bricks across the yard. Your kids could have used that years ago.
Yeah, mulch or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Just walk around with a wheelbarrow full of shit, move it from one side of the yard to the other.
Yeah, and then back.
Yeah. Come to think about it, I kind of wish I had a wheelbarrow.
Well, you can't get it from this lady.
Yeah. But see, I never had kids.
Right.
So I had no one to give a wheelbarrow ride to. Did you ever get wheelbarrow rides?
No.
I did.
No, I never
My
did.
dad had a wheelbarrow and you could sit in it and he would push you across the yard and you just go, whee!
No.
A wheelbarrow ride.
No. I didn't grow up in the sticks.
No?
No.
All right.
My husband was interested in the leather chair.
Well, that is gone.
And he was wondering about the wheelbarrow.
Yeah, but no, that's gone.
A leather chair and a wheelbarrow.
I just like he keeps circling back and she's too dumb to say, dude.
I told you it was gone. Thanks for calling. All right.
What condition is the leather chair in?
The leather chair is gone. Somebody bought it. It's gone.
Oh, could I come look at it?
It's gone. It's been sold.
I don't know if I'm understanding. The bookcase you have.
No.
Okay, then the wheelbarrow you have.
No. Now look, I'll tell you one more time, and maybe you need to get. Is there somebody there with you?
Well,
is there somebody there with you? You're too retarded to understand what I'm talking about here.
You're too stupid.
Yeah. Could you put somebody else on the phone?
Yeah.
Instead of just hanging up on this douchebag, she entertains his nonsense.
She just keeps on going.
Yeah.
Oh, my cat is sitting right here next to me in the chair.
I think we're having trouble communicating. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear, but my grandson's at work. He's not here now.
Okay, well, when he comes back, you can tell him to call me, and I'll give him the message, okay?
Have your grandson call me so I can tell him
that
the wheelbarrow, the bookshelf, and the leather chair are no longer available.
Right.
Because you just don't seem to understand their grandpa.
Grandma.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's an old woman.
Yeah, that's Ethel.
Right. All right.
Okay.
After work, could he come by and look at the wheelbarrow?
I told you the wheelbarrow has been sold. I do not have the wheelbarrow.
Oh, somebody bought it?
Right.
Oh, but he was still interested in the bookcase.
Well, the bookcase, somebody also has taken that away. It's been sold.
Taking it away. It's taking it away.
Oh my God, it's too funny.
Right.
Well, I mean, the one.
Well, listen, I'll tell you, I have to get off the phone, but you have a good day, and thank you for calling.
Well, real quick, the leather chair, what is
that
it?
is gone. gone. It's been sold. Someone came with a truck and took it away. I do not have it anymore.
Wow, she gives a lot of detail there. They came with a truck and they took it away.
It's too funny.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a folding, rocking, or?
No. And it's gone. It's gone. They have it. I don't have it anymore. Okay, goodbye. I have to go. You have a nice day.
Thank you. Bye.
Hello?
Hi, ma'am. I just got off the phone with my grandson.
Yeah.
He wanted me to ask you how many wheels is on the wheelbarrow.
All right. I just sent you another that's an act. I thought that was a Tradio call, but this one that I just sent you is a Tradio call. That's funny.
All right. All right, here we go.
All right.
So I was telling you, Sal and Richard were back with the Tradio guy. I thought they were going to stop with him already.
Well, they gave him a break for a little while, I think.
I guess while we were away, they got bored and they called him again.
Just had to do it.
This goes on forever.
12 Show, good morning.
Hello?
Yes,
Hey, Jack, how are you?
I'm doing fine.
Hey, listen, I got a gas grill for sale,
Okay.
and it's a web grill. It's fantastic. As a matter of fact, I'm grilling right now as I speak to you on my cordless phone, Jack.
All right. Number?
Hold on one second. I just got to turn the gas down on this here.
Oh, gosh. What in the world are these people doing? I mean, I think you're funny. 12 Show, good morning.
Hello, Jack. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
Good. Thank you for taking my call. I'm looking for farm work. I just got laid off about a week ago. I'm looking for farm work. I'm looking to pump off some horses, some bulls. I collect semen.
Again, it's Craigslist on the radio.
It is, but it's fucking hysterical. They're
It is.
called.
But it's amazing that they can host an entire radio show based on Craigslist items.
And for hours. This goes on probably for 3 hours.
Tradio, America's favorite radio show. Is this America's favorite radio show?
It's not mine.
Buy, sell, trade, or give away your items live on the air.
Tradio
Live on the air. It's the Craigslist of on-air radio.
It's Tradio.
All right, here we go.
This guy is crazy. This guy is crazy. I'm going to go there. You're an idiot. Now we got a lot of foul mouth on this guy or guys.
Remember when we first started, he didn't understand one joke. He let him go on and on and on.
Right.
Now, I tell you one thing, now he's paying attention to the show. And,
He's learned a lot.
yeah. Now he's suspicious of everyone. He's so angry now. He starts hanging up on people who aren't even sound, Richard.
You're dumb. I mean, it's all you got to do. You are completely imbecile, dumb.
Imbecile.
Show, good morning.
Yeah, that whole southern accent doesn't make you sound like a hick.
Yeah, no kidding. 70-year-old hillbilly.
You're dumb. You're just plain old dumb. A lot of foul language there with that there collar.
You're an imbecile.
You're uneducated.
Yeah.
Morning. Well, I tell you what.
I'll tell you
Show,
what.
good morning.
Good morning, Jack. Hello?
Listen,
Yes, sir.
can I help you?
Yes, this is Chief Jack Marlin from the authorities. I'm doing a thorough investigation.
Oh, come on. 12 Show, good morning.
Jack, if you got caller ID in there.
No, but I'm going to have it. I'm going to have it pretty soon. I don't know who it is, and I've got some good friends with the phone company. And maybe
He's got good friends with the phone company.
Good fun. And I love that. That's another thing that they all do with this Tradio is they all say, well, we're going to call the police.
Yeah, for what? For call into a radio station?
You invited the calls, dummies.
Tell on you, fella.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said something just kind of mean.
Mm-hmm.
You got to call the police.
It's too funny.
All right.
I can request, them.
Yeah, I think it's more than one.
And they're just completely dumb and silly.
Get caller ID, you find out.
Yeah, they're just dumb and stupid.
Dumb and silly.
Yeah.
Who it is.
Well,
It's like Granny from the Beverly
I
Hillbillies.
know.
But I mean, how could she sound like that?
You got caller ID
She's
in there.
probably only 30.
I love how he doesn't.
It's probably Pat Priest.
I love how he doesn't think that's a prank call.
Right. He wasn't sure, believe me.
Yeah, I used to play Marilyn on the Munsters.
bust their jaws. What
I
I'll do.
know that. Somebody like that.
I'm smarter than they are.
They got to be.
Yeah. I'm smarter than they are.
I'm smarter than they are,
I'm
pal.
on to you, pal.
Listen, you pranksters, you guys are imbeciles.
You hooligans. You on-air hooligan.
You are stupid. You are an idiot.
What programmer in the nation thought, you know what would be great? If somebody would like sell shit on the radio.
The only thing I can think of is that a PD is probably like, this show is dirt fucking cheap.
Yeah. Cost me nothing. This guy will come in for nothing just to sit there and talk.
This fucking guy probably makes $10 an hour.
If that much.
Yeah. He's probably making nothing.
Nothing. But I'm famous. I'm on the air.
And they're,
Aren't you that Tradio guy?
yeah. Meanwhile, they're billing, even if they're billing $600 through the course of Tradio, and they're only paying out $30, that's a win.
Yeah, of course.
It's a big win.
It's, you know, $570 profit.
Man, I gotta imagine this is like Sunday morning radio, don't you think?
You would think so.
Yeah.
All right.
I can just hang up.
Right.
If they get tired dialing.
Yeah, I just wanted to you get that caller ID and they'll do something about
All right.
it. Thank you.
Thank you.
So this lady just called in to say get caller ID,
I guess she was upset that her Tradio was being interrupted.
and he entertained her call for 3 minutes.
Of course he did.
Well, you get that caller ID. Well, I prank the people at the phone company.
You know, I got some friends over at the phone company. We're gonna do some business.
Yeah, we're gonna do some work.
We're gonna do some work.
Swamp Show, good morning.
Jack, you really need to get caller ID for these morons.
Yeah.
Saying morons. Saying morons. And if that's all you got to do, good grief.
Who does this sound like?
Who, that guy, Hank Hill?
No, I'm not talking about his accent. I'm just talking about how he conducts himself.
Who, the Rev?
The Rev.
Yeah.
Oh, if this is all you got to do, if this is what fulfills your life.
Yeah. This guy's a ring tap away from being the Rev. If all of a sudden we start hearing
Exactly,
then he'll be the Rev.
I'm much smarter than you, but if that's what fulfills your life,
Yeah.
if that's what gets you off,
do you feel good about picking on kids of underprivileged kids?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do feel good about that.
Do you feel good about yourself? Remember that whole nonsense?
I do.
And I was like, yeah, I feel great.
Yeah.
Swamp Show, good morning.
Good morning, Jack. I got a washer dryer for sale.
Okay.
More.
All right. Yeah, he's got.
Let's see. I got a washer dryer for sale. All right.
All right.
And yeah, I plug it in and hook up some some water hoses to it, and you turn it on, it works. Cool.
Yeah. Look, they put a picture of that guy, the Tradio guy, in the chat room. Looks exactly like you'd expect.
All right.
He looks exactly like you'd expect, don't he?
Yeah.
On Tradio.
Radio. Yeah, that's the guy.
That's him, all right.
Yeah, that's one of the jukebox oldies from WSTV.
Yeah. Bill.
Exactly. Thank you, cunt face.
I'm having a ball. I don't have, I cut it off. And you think you, both of you, I hope some of my telephone people are getting me these numbers.
Some telephone people are getting me these numbers?
Yeah, pal.
Really? he's working covertly and tracking these people, then what? Then what are you gonna do?
Nothing. What are they gonna do? He called. They said call this number, and they called the number and goofed on it. Nothing.
I hope some telephone people are getting these numbers.
And you know what the brilliance is of this bit? And I was thinking about this. You know what makes this bit the most brilliant thing of all? The fact that they recorded the calls from the radio, makes it legal to play it back.
Yeah, because it was over the air broadcast.
Yeah, if they would record their phone calls of it, it would be illegal.
Yeah, because it's only one-sided.
Yeah, well, and because they would need permission.
Yeah, because they would have to, depending on what state you're in.
Yeah, but
you would have to say you're being recorded.
Yeah, but the way they're doing it, they're just recording what goes out over the air.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Swap Shop.
Hey, Jack, how are you doing this morning? Hello, Jack.
I'm doing all right. How about you?
Oh, I'm good, thank you. I'll tell you what, these pranksters, you send them on over to me, I'll take care of them.
Yeah, what are you going to do, fella? I'll take care of them. I'll beat their asses.
You send them over to me.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yeah, I'll jack them up.
Swap Shop, good morning. You're on the air.
I mean, this has got to be the most disheartening thing for this guy to host a radio show, and every other phone call is just like some prankster fucking with this dude.
And he has nothing. He can't go to anything.
He's like the guy who sits in the dunk tank. People are just throwing balls at him, hopefully hitting that target, so he goes into the water.
Yeah. And he can't, for whatever reason, he can't even go to a music or a song or nothing.
No.
Commercial. I mean, go to commercials.
Yeah, he's got to figure out a way to make it entertaining and stay on the air and give commentary, but instead it's just a barrage of these prank phone calls just beating this guy into the ground.
And he probably doesn't even have a producer where he could bring the producer in and they could just talk about, did you see the parade last week there, Bill, or whatever? You know, and they could talk about the parade for 10 or 15 minutes to let the shit die down.
No,
he's got nothing. He's got nothing but that phone bank.
Yeah.
I love him.
You go jump in the lake.
Yeah.
Funny. Yeah, you are a funny thing. You're a comedian, but you're out of work. Oh, come on. You know, that's all right. Swap Shop, good morning.
I want to be a vomit coach.
Just go jump in the lake.
Just jump in the lake.
Why don't you just go jump in the lake?
Yeah. Jump in the lake.
You're a comedian that's out of work.
Yeah.
Go jump in a lake.
Yeah. Take a long walk off a short pier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just an imbecile. You're an idiot. Swap Shop, good morning.
I'm right on the same phone as up. Don't even ask me. I will get your numbers, and by the time where you are, you're going to get me to come and see you.
Really? I'm going to get your numbers and I'm going to come find you?
Yeah.
Then what are you going to do?
Beats me.
What are you going to do? I'm going to knock on your door and shake my finger at you, pal.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a stern talking to.
Yeah, I'm going to write you a sternly worded letter.
Yeah, pal.
Yeah.
3 exclamations in every sentence.
Jeez.
Swap Shop, good morning.
Oh, you say good.
Hey, cousin.
All right. You fit this morning.
Well, yesterday just started. Some people, that's all they got to do, and I'm smarter than they are.
Yeah, you're smart, all right. That's why you're on radio.
That's why you're making $30 on a Saturday.
Yeah, tradio.
Shut up.
Right.
And I don't have to listen to it, so I can cut them off and move right along. You know?
I got that button at my disposal. I could just hang up on them.
Yeah, it's working real well, ain't it?
Alan Kill caller, you're on the air.
Oh, wow. Hey, thanks, guys. Hey, I'm a short time listener. Just started listening to your show, podcasts and stuff.
Yes.
Heard you talking about Last in Line earlier, and I think Vivian Campbell is great. The stuff they put out is just
all right. See, I got the button at my disposal too, so I'm gonna shut them right off.
You think you just cost us a listener?
Yeah, and I recorded your number, so I'll expect a visit from me, pal.
I'm gonna come wave my finger at you.
Yeah. See how that works on Tradio? I just shut that that caller right off. You're off topic, dude.
He's probably listening to a best of or something. He's new.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Ain't bothering me.
Right.
I've been doing this for 50-something years.
50-something years?
He's been doing Tradio for 50 years.
50-something years he's been doing Tradio?
On Tradio.
Oh, please.
I got more sense than they'll ever have.
Yeah.
Well, Jack, do you know where around where you can ship UPS anymore?
There's several businesses around that do that.
Okay, but
have a good day.
What? Seeing girls.
See there, I get the last fit. You guys are idiots. I control this thing.
Yeah, I control this.
I control this thing.
You're not going to infiltrate my my little domain here.
Yeah, pal.
I'll shut you right down.
I've been doing this for 50 years and you're an idiot.
Yeah.
I'm not an idiot for sitting here for 50 fucking years. You're an idiot for calling.
Yeah. At least I'm employed. I get $10 an hour.
I got me a job, unlike your unemployed comedian ass.
So go jump in a lake.
Yeah, go jump in a lake there, bud.
Not you. You don't have control of nothing. What's up? Good morning.
Yes, Nick.
That's going to do it here this morning. I want to thank all of you, except the jerks that keep calling and think they're doing somebody a favor. But
no thanks to them.
You ain't bothering me, folks. But I will.
No, you don't sound bothered.
I will get your number
and do what?
And we'll deal with it. Right. We'll have to call the phone company, I reckon, and see if we can block that caller.
Get some of that new.
I got to call the phone company. See
I'll get your phone number and block that caller.
We're going to lock that caller out.
Right.
They won't be able to call Tradio.
Jesus. Craigslist of the air.
Yeah.
That's really what it boils down to.
It is. But I'll just advise we're not going to play any more of these because I don't want to get a fucking Howard Stern fucking lawsuit against us or anything. But I will say this. There's one out there on YouTube and it's 8 hours long.
Wow.
Every single call is funny. If you guys are looking for something that will absolutely make you laugh all day long, that fucking is the one. It's 8 hours. It's Sal and Richard Tradio. If you just look up Sal and Richard Tradio, it'll come up.
All right.
Well worth listening to.
Perfect. Haley Kill Caller, you're on the air.
I'm sitting here racking my brain, listening, trying to think who that old guy sounds like.
Who does he sound like, Tim?
Like exactly like the old guy from Beavis and Butthead Do America with the hat. That's who that old guy sounds like.
Or Hank Hill from
Haley Kill.
Was Mike Judge, wasn't Hank Hill was Mike Judge too, wasn't he?
Yeah, he did all the voice characters.
Yeah. So it's the same voice.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Tim.
All right.
You're on Tradio.
Yeah, you're on Tradio.
I can hear Tim calling up. I got a Motley Crue tour book. Got a jizz stain on it.
But the pages are still good. They all turn.
Except for that one page with Tommy Lee on it, because when I saw his pecker, I had to jerk my dick. I'm asking $35 there, Tim.
Give me your number, Tim. Thanks for calling, Tim. Give me your number.
Give me your number, Tim. Tradio.
All right. Well, let's play a couple of tunes. I got a request here from Gary.
All right.
He wants to hear a one and done band.
Okay.
called Child's Play, which I actually kinda like these guys.
I remember them.
Yeah. And he wants to hear a song called My Bottle. Have you broken into your bottle yet?
I haven't. I was busy keeping the show going while you were booting and everything.
All right, well, maybe this might be a good segue to open up your red tits or red breast or whatever.
Red breast. Yeah, I'll bring it in here and I'll open it on the show so that we can
All right.
put a love.
I was given a set of crystal glasses. You were given a set of crystal glasses and red breast booze.
We figured it out. Chrysophile.
Yeah, that's true.
Tom is a chrysophile.
All right. All right. Well, let's play a few tunes. So here it is. This is Child's Play from their Rat Race release, and this is My Bottle exclusively here
On your classic metal show.